Here at nexusnewsfeed.com is an article entitled Valley of Headless Men, Mysterious Decapitations in Canada's Nahanni Valley by Alexa Vukovic. And Mr. Vukovic begins. The Northwestern Territories of Canada are truly one of Earth's last true wild places. One of its special national park reserves, called the Nahanni Valley, is however a little bit wilder than most. It is home to some strange myths and mysteries, and boasts a fearsome reputation for being a deadly place. This remote wild valley is not just inhospitable due to its rugged terrain, extreme weather, and predators, but also deadly due to some unexplained circumstances. Over the decades, many unfortunate travelers and explorers have gone missing, or they turned up dead and beheaded. The number of decapitated bodies found within Nahanni Valley have earned it the nickname Valley of Headless Men. Many have said that the Nahanni Valley is one of the last truly unexplored places in the world. Situated within the rugged Northwest Territories of Canada, well over 500 kilometers from the nearest city of Yellowknife. It is one of those nature's nooks, preserved in spite of mankind's busy expansion. Reaching Nahanni can be a challenge, if you ever find a reason to journey inside it. It's hard to reach, and the best routes to it are by way of air, water, or a long overland journey from the abandoned village of Tungsten. I wonder what they mined there. The valley is situated above the 60th parallel north, which puts it in line with the rest of Canada's wild territories. Cities and civilization up north are few and far between, and surviving the wilderness can be challenging, or even fatal, for the inexperienced. Thanks to its remarkably natural beauty, its unique geography, its features and wealth of flora and fauna, Nahanni Valley has been proclaimed a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1978. In fact, it was one of the first 4 natural heritage locations to be given this status. But this lofty proclamation has not given it a flurry of visitors. Thank you, Danielle. Due to its remoteness, Nahanni Valley has remained largely untouched over the centuries. It is home to many diverse animal species, many of which are predators. Large grizzly bears and timber wolves are thought to be the chief carnivores there, and people are seldom seen in this nature. Historically, the lands around the Nahanni Valley were home to the peoples of the Dene indigenous tribes who dwelt there for many centuries. However, it seems they never lived exactly along the Nahanni River or its tributaries, from which the Nahanni Valley gets its name. Their oral histories, passed down through generations, speak of another tribe living there, one called the Nahanni. The Dene tell that the Nahanni were a warlike tribe, living in the high mountains and descending into the lowlands to raid and kill. They became the main foes of the Dene peoples and were greatly feared. The name Nahanni itself is of Dene origin and means the river of the land of the Naha people, or the Naha people. These oral histories and the name itself are very important, as they are certain proof that a different indigenous tribe once dwelt here. However, the Dene state that the Naha people simply vanished at one time, ceasing their raids and disappearing altogether. Mystery surrounds these so-called Naha, but no trace of them has ever been found. So far, they are found only in stories. Could they have migrated elsewhere, succumbed to disease, died out? Or have they simply stayed in the Nahanni River Valley to this very day, hiding in plain sight? Some think it might be so. This mystery would likely have died out quickly, being dubbed just another legendary story of an indigenous tribe. But several eerie deaths and disturbances within Nahanni Valley achieved the opposite result. The mysteries surrounding this place were only fueled further, and Nahanni became the focus of mystery hunters. And most of this focus was on a special place within the valley called the 200-Mile Gorge. The Dene natives speak of an unknown evil dwelling there, and few ever enter it, especially because of the events transpired there. For it's the 200-Mile Gorge that gained the grisly epithet of the Valley of the Headless Men. The origins of this eerie nickname can be traced to the early 20th century, at the time of the famous Klondike Gold Rush. At this time, many would-be prospectors wanted to test their fortunes and head out to the remote Canadian wilderness, especially the Yukon. It was known to contain gold in its rivers and soils, and a treasure could be quickly made by those lucky enough to strike gold. Two of these prospectors decided to forego the traditional route leading to the Yukon and instead try their luck in the Nahanni Valley. They were Willie and Frank McLeod. In 1906, they canoed upriver to reach the valley, and that was the last time anyone saw them alive. In 1908, 2 years later, a search party discovered their skeletons at the remains of a camp. Both were headless. Seemingly they were asleep when they were attacked. The body of one of the brothers lay reaching out towards a gun, indicating the need for defense. A third man, their companion surnamed Weir, was missing. Oh, we haven't heard of the third man until now. It's a good thing I read that then. From here on, the mysteries deepened. Who would decapitate so ruthlessly two peaceful prospectors? And what happened to their heads? Rumors began spreading. Some spoke of feuding prospectors killing one another. Others attributed the deaths to wild animals, while some spoke of inhospitable warlike natives, leaving their headless corpses as a warning to other trespassers. Theories floated about until another corpse was discovered in 1917. It was that of a Swiss prospector named Martin Jorgenson. His body was discovered, decapitated, next to the remains of his cabin. It was burned to the ground. It is supposed that he struck gold in the vicinity as he wrote of it back home before ending up beheaded. An article from the 1947 issue of Deseret News, titled Headless Valley Myths Dispelled, goes in depth while trying to bash all the mystery and find logic for the murders. Much of the article's contents are unsubstantiated and mere guesswork. There it said that Jorgensen and the McLeod brothers were all murdered for the gold they had discovered, but no evidence for this was ever found. In 1927, another body was discovered in Nahanni, belonging to a man nicknamed Yukon Fisher. Variously dubbed as an outlaw and a prospector, this man was sought by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for several years before his death. The officials found his skeleton on the banks of Bennett Creek, quite close to where the bodies of the McLeod brothers were found in 1908. His death was never fully explained, nor was the fact that he was known to possess a solid number of gold nuggets, with which he purchased goods on the frontier. Then in 1931, another body was found. This time it was that of Phil Powers. His charred remains were discovered in the ashes of what was his cabin. The RCMP were quick to attribute his death to a faulty stovepipe. But Phil Powers, for what it's worth, was likely murdered and his cabin set ablaze. Many others simply disappeared without a trace in the remote wilderness of the Nahanni Valley.